basically right now, do you think that the hobby's in a bad place or a good place?
I wouldn't say either. In my opinion, I don't think it's in a bad place. I don't think it's been in the best place just because of the like we always talk about the overabundance of cards. You know what I mean, and the modern the way, especially now with the fanatics, and I watched somebody open a pack of I don't know, I think it was Panini Prism basketball, and it was a tops card in the pack. There was a tops baseball card in a Panini Prism tops baseball card in a sealed pack. And like that's like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
freaks me. I know it's like a simple thing, but it's really not. Like what
Right.
is going on with stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
just think like, listen, the whole fanatics thing, um, it we all talked about it when the transformation happened. We were talking about it before it happened. That we said we could go back to maybe some of our old shows when we talked about it. That what's going to happen in the next year or the second year, the third year? Is it going to get better, or is this going to be like a step down? And I feel like it's been a step down since they took over. That's just my opinion. Hey, listen, I know there's people that love look, the Fanatics Fest and all that stuff. That's great stuff. And don't get me wrong. But in terms of straight hobby stuff, cards, it's just like I feel like it took a step down, but I don't think it's in a bad place. I just don't think it should be where all the things we have now in this day and time. I think it only should go this way. But sometimes, the old is better. And sometimes when you change things up, just like MLB changed the uniforms and they want, football gets softer and softer. Yeah, it might be for the better for what they think, but sometimes it hurts.
The way things are now, like obviously we could talk about all the blunders that Tops has made recently, like really some crazy stuff, in my opinion. Bad. I think we talked about it in a previous video, but as far as like the value of cards goes, also, when we were collecting in the Junkwax era as kids, we obviously thought the cards were going to be worth a lot. Nobody wanted to believe that the cards weren't going to be worth that much. Um, but I think one of the differences that nobody was really spending like ridiculous money on players because you really couldn't. Like, what were you going to do? Buy 100 Mattingly rookies? Like, you could, yeah, that'd be a lot of money. But like some of these cards that people are buying right now, you were telling me about somebody who had some like insane cards recently in a conversation. The red, to 5 auto Bowman first and all that. And it's like those cards are so like, it's crazy. They're so volatile. Like right now that card could be worth like 100 grand. In like a year, that card could be worth nothing. Um, and that's I'm not mad at that. I think that's kind of cool. Um, but the problem for me, it really just comes down to the price of the boxes. I've thought about this a lot. Like we could talk about all these problems that Panini's having and Tops is having and all this stuff and how like it's to me the worst thing is that Fanatics owns the license and controls the whole industry. But more than that, it's really like is the hobby like in a place where like people are going to look back and be like, this is really worse than it was. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, because, going to shows, seeing like thousands and thousands of slabs, like there are so many like Luca, PSA 10s. There's so many Juan Soto PSA 10s, all these, CJ Stroud now, like all these players. And that's kind of like a whole other level to the whole thing. The plastic, like a slab's going to be like, it's just kind of crazy. I feel like
But
it's
the volatile thing you said, and that's such a strong word, in the industry with cards because like how Bobby Witt, he's hitting 350 or whatever else. His cards, like that red 5 is gone, right? But there was a time when you had like a Tatis, right? And Tatis was on top of the world. And not saying Tatis isn't a great player, but he's not in the top 5. Where people Tatis is, what I'm saying. And look, Acuna's always hurt, and even the Trout, even Trout's cards, go a little down because Trout's been injured, and it's just the way life is. But like you said, that's a strong word, but it's very true because, you know, everybody is not, a guaranteed. These young players, Gunnar Henderson, they're great, but you don't know in 5 years, and you spend 35, 40, 50,000 on a card of a player that's really, really good his first few seasons, and all of a sudden, injuries or maybe guys just lose it, and all of a sudden, that 50 could be 5. So, in the stock market, it's not going to maybe, well, it could, but card that word volatile, I guess you could put it towards the stock market. It could happen like this, and for modern card collectors, you got to have a quick trigger both ways. You see a deal, you got to get it, but if you feel you got to get out, you got to get out because how quick that card could go. That's a good point.
Yeah. No, I mean, a weird part of it too is like I'll see people who are like, "Oh, I just pulled this card. I want X amount for it." It's like, why is I get it if you get a card that's worth money that you want to get rid of that you don't like, but at the same time, what's the point of like trying to pull cards and all that stuff if you're not really collecting? But that's a whole other conversation. Speaking of Mike Trout,
that also it also goes to who you pull. If you pull a huge card, like if you open a modern pack and you pull the Judge 101 super fracted, you're not selling that thing,
right?
I mean, you might if somebody said, "Yo, I'll give you 150,000 for it." You might go buy, you might sell it and go buy a boat. And you know what I mean? So I guess it really just comes down to like, because there's people that even have money that would still sell it. It's really because some people look at this like such a business where me and you don't. Like we're not, I sell cards here and there, but we love the hobby. But there's people that actually take buying cards, flipping cards, and run it like a business. And some of them are great at it, but it just depends on how it works. If you're such a collector and you get an insane card that you love that player, are you going to get rid of it? That's a great question. Regardless of the money, you're going to get rid of it. Now, if anyone somebody wants to pay you a ridiculous amount, I mean, you're probably going to say, all right. But yeah, it's true. Are you collecting to flip? What are you doing? I watched some kid. He bought a pack of Don Russ Optic basketball. $6 he bought. He hit the 101 black Wemby that they say is going to be $100,000. So like, that's the crazy thing. It's like hitting a slot. You just don't know. You put a few bucks in, you don't know what could happen. It's the wild side of this hobby.
Yeah. And then going back to Mike Trout, it's crazy what's happened. Like just the hate, the Mike Trout hate to me is so crazy. Because the Mike Trout fanboy stuff was the other extreme end of that, like years ago. You know what I mean? And it's just like the kid's a legend. I mean, Mike Trout's he's still only like 32 years old or whatever. Judge is only a year younger than Mike Trout. So, Mike Trout has a track record.
Joe, I got to cut in on that because I was talking to a friend of mine about this. Trout needs to come back. Like, I'm not saying he's not Trout. I'm just saying for the Willie Mays, those guys played a long time, and you know what I mean. So like Trout, it's not taking anything away from Trout. I'm talking about taking away from when you're going to that next realm of stardom. You know what I'm saying? Like the legendary dudes. Trout's legend, but I'm saying the way his injuries are, it's. I just hope that it's not just for the hobby, but just for him because he's such a great player. Like I would hate to like see a Mattingly thing, where it's like, obviously Trout put up longer numbers than Mattingly, but it's that thing where it's like, there's more. And like, I don't want to see the injury halt what the career could have been. You know what I'm saying? So when you said Trout, me and my buddy were just, not even hobby. We were just talking about career stuff where it's like, let's go. Like you said, he's only 32. He could play another 8 years, 10, whatever. But let's go. Let's get him on the field. Let's see him. Maybe he needs a fresh start and play in some postseason. Like can't go out like this,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, his value is like that he's really like the best player of the last. I mean, I'm just saying, not even the hobby. Like he's like the best player in the last like 20 years of baseball, pretty much. Complete player. And what's crazy to me is that whenever he's played well, other than like last season before he got hurt. He had a slow start, but whatever, man. Mike Trout, he always plays well. Like when he comes back, and I still think it's crazy to write the guy off at a pretty young age, unless he does have like a David Wright. I know he did. He was diagnosed with some kind of condition with his back, I believe. So that's something. You know what I mean? Like that could play into it. You saw what happened with David Wright and Don Mattingly. Obviously, it shows how hard baseball is, and it shows like the perils of collecting modern cards because if you bought Mike Trout rookies like those, the Bowman 2009 autos at the height of the hobby a few years ago, like those cards have gone down a lot in value. I just think, like, I agree. Mike Trout has to come back. He has to play well. And I think the crazy thing with him is that he plays like he's 19 still. You know what I mean?
True.
He plays so hard, and it's like, you don't have to steal bases like that. You don't need to do that. Like, you don't need. I mean, who am I to say anything like what somebody should do? Because Ricky Henderson was stealing bases until he was in his 40s. But you know what I mean? Like, if you're susceptible to getting injured, or I mean, who knows? I hate that term when people say stay healthy. I think that's the stupidest thing that
I know
people
you
say.
can't play scared. Look at the season Judge is having, and he's still out there roaming center field. I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's really on the player because of a player, like you said, Trout is a baseball player. So it's like, do you think like if they tell Trout like, we're gonna move you to first, like he's probably like, nah, I'm not, like I'm playing. There's some guys we talk about that they're not going 100, and that's just the way they are. They're just not 100%. They don't play that hard, and that's not knock. They're still great, but they don't play. Don't give it every night. Trout does. Guys like that give it every night. And I was just thinking of something when I'm saying this, and I'm like, I hope he has more time. But it's funny, you look at a guy like Sandy Koufax. The guy retired when he was what, 30? How old was Koufax? He was 32. Freaking man.
Yeah, like early 30s, only like 10 seasons. I feel like.
But you know what I'm saying? It was he retired. He was really like in like where pitchers are still like in their prime, and it's like it didn't affect his career going down as a GOAT. So I guess it's more of a personal thing with Trout, where it's like I like Trout and I'm a fan of him, so I want to just see him have the career we all want him to have.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome. I think it's a really cool thing that he loves to play where he's always played, and that he has fans out there, and obviously homes and stuff, his family's out there, his kids, whatever. But the temptation got to be serious for him to be like, wow, I could go play for wherever, somewhere else that has a chance to win, like LA, the Dodgers, bro. The Dodgers got Mike Trout, and the Dodgers probably could figure out a way to get Mike Trout, or like the Yankees or a team like that. Like, it's kind of crazy, man. But it would be like, nobody would be mad at him. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr., you know what I mean, went to the Reds. Like, I know he has roots there with his dad, obviously, but he was a Mariner. That, to me, I always considered him a Mariner. So, I mean,
Now, growing up, didn't Trout root for the Phillies, right?
I'm not sure. I know he's
an Eagles guy.
Yeah, probably because he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey, Midville, I believe. So I think I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. Like, I know the area. It's actually closer to the New York side as far as I can tell.
But yeah, like any big city, imagine watching Trout play. He's going to play the next, 7 years. He's going to be in the postseason probably every year. Like that, come on, man. Like we deserve that. You know what I mean? Like you think of Ernie Banks, and he rarely got a shot. But he just never got the chance to play on any good teams. And it's like, hey, listen, baseball is baseball. But like, I just hope at some point we get to see him shine in a postseason. Because as a fan, I know we're out of the hobby right now, but as a fan of baseball, any great player, I want to see them in the postseason. I feel like I was robbed if I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I think it would be so good for baseball to see Mike Trout. And it's unfortunate because, now the way baseball's set up, so many teams make the postseason. You would think Mike Trout would have a good chance. But that team, I mean, the Angels, they're just really not run well. And they haven't been for a long time. It sucks because it doesn't even look like, hey, in 4 or 5 years, maybe this team will be good. It's just not a run organization.
Well, two best players in the game, and they couldn't put a team around them. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
pretty
mean, think
crazy.
of how talented those guys. I mean, it's so crazy that Mike Trout's name would be so much bigger if he played, I mean, obviously, if he played for the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs. Could you imagine how big Mike Trout, even if he played for the Cardinals, like
Oh,
he'd be a lot bigger than, like, Anaheim. It's just not a huge. I know there's been a baseball team there for a long time, but I don't know. It's not the
it's
big
still
market
Dodger,
team.
it's still Dodger County, you know? It's just
Yeah,
the way it is. It'll always be, you know?
absolutely, man. Um, Going back to the Fanatics thing, my boy showed me video of the Fanatics Fest, and yo, it looked amazing. Like
Yeah.
I had come back from vacation, so I was really tired. But wow, bro, it was like the wrestling stuff. They had Andre the Giant's boots in there. Like they had just, I mean, I'm sure there's crazy stuff at the National. Um, but I see the stuff at the National and it's cool. Like I should have went when it was in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go to like some random city, and that's the reason I'm bringing this up to talk to you about it. And I was having this conversation with my boy, and he was just like, I was like, wow, they're really trying to go hard at the National. And he's like, yo, they kind of gonna, if it was off the chain. It was like it was way better than the National. And I was like, wow. And then he's like, oh, I hope they do it again. And then I'm like, yeah, they'll probably do it somewhere else. You know what I mean? But he's like, no, I don't think so. Why would they do it somewhere else? Like it was so crazy in New York. Jay-Z was there all weekend. Derek Jeter, I think. Like just a ridiculous amount of legends were there. I mean, it was, he just told me it was incredible. So I got to give props to Fanatics, even though I didn't go to it. And he's like, he's not somebody who's like a fanboy, like, oh, he was just like, yeah, it's the best thing. And he's been to the National as well. So that's kind of cool. If they do it again, and the reason I'm bringing this up is like I'm not gonna hate on any random city, but like it's kind of a mission to go to Cleveland, bro. You know what I mean? Like there has to other like attractiveness to it than just like going to like somewhere, um, whatever, man. I hope people don't
No,
get tired,
I
but
agree. I agree with you on that. My brother-in-law
or
took it.
maybe like Jay-Z. Is Jay-Z gonna go to Cleveland, bro?
No,
Is Derek Jeter going to go to Cleveland or wherever it was? And again,
it
I'm
was
being
accessible, and a lot of these guys live in the city, so
right.
it makes sense. And people can get to New York and travel around easier and quicker, and still have something to do, make a vacation out of it. Being in the city or whatever else. But yeah, my brother-in-law took his kid. They loved it, kid wise. Hooks went with his boy, and he said it was phenomenal. Just the interaction, everybody was around. There was so much stuff to do. So I mean, the lines were long, but everybody that I heard that went were like, "Yo, like wish you were there," type shit. Like knew that I would have enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, if they do it in New York, we should both make a. I'll come in for that next time, especially knowing how good it was.
Yeah, yeah. It looked really really cool. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to go. I mean, I think it was strategic how they timed it after the National.
Yep.
Um, some of the prices were kind of high. Like my thing with the National and stuff, like this is my issue with the National, and I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm a picky collector, bro. Like I could go to shows. I've been to really big shows, and I'm there the whole day. And I'm not going through every single box, but like just say slabbed cards, and I'm just not finding the things I want. It's not like I'm going there and I have money to spend, and I'm finding all these things. So, if I go to the National, right, that means that I'm getting on a plane, okay, and I'm paying for a hotel and I'm paying to get in. That means that I have to buy cards now. Because if I don't buy cards, what kind of a schmuck am I? I go all the way to the National, I get a hotel, the whole thing, and I can't find anything to buy. That's the thing that gets me a little bit about going to like if it was in AC, it's cool. I could have brought my wife, she could play cards, like chill on the beach, whatever. But
But Joe, look, the whole thing too with the National is what happens is that people go and they spend more money on the cards because everybody's overpricing the cards because they know people are coming there to spend money. It's like going to the casino, right? You go to the casino, you got 5 G's in your pocket. In your mind, you already spent the 5 G's, right? Because you went there with that. And that's what people do with the cards. They know that people are going there, like you just said. They took money aside. They spent money on plane tickets, food, hotels. They got to buy cards so they can put the prices higher. And all right, maybe there's some more, but like you said, if you go to a local card show, I mean, you can find some insane deals, bro. So it's like, I'm gonna go there. Yeah, I think it's almost more to go just to be around and see everyone and you
Yeah.
know, politic and talk and oh, I'm going here, I'm going to this little, you know, get together they have or whatever else. I think it's almost more than that for like collectors, you know, but for the regular collectors that don't care about, you know, meeting up with people, it's like from what I heard, it was very, very overpriced. And obviously, you're going to find ridiculous cards, especially on the high end. You know that you're probably not going to find online or something, or you're not willing to spend that money, and hopefully it gets in the mail. So that's another side of it too. But I do think that you know just hyping in overpriced cards, you know, I don't know. That's why the local card show, bro. Sometimes I've been to big ones. Sometimes you find that fun card show, and it's like you could find everything in a little spot. Sometimes, you know, it's crazy with some of those shows.
Yeah, no, I agree. When I go to shows, and I don't want to take away from any of that, camaraderie and all that stuff, like friendship and networking at the national, because I know a lot of people are really, really, they look forward to that. It's one of the biggest, most important things about it, that they're going to the national. And I love that. I go to local shows. I spend probably more time talking to the dealers that I've, learned, become friends with over the years than like looking for cards a lot of the time. That's a huge thing. Going to the LCS, talking to people, learning things from people, like that's, to me, that's a huge part of the hobby. I'm just saying, because of the traveling aspect of the national, that's why. If it was in obviously here, I would definitely go. I'm not trying to like take away from the good aspects of it, but there's some things about it that like even when I go to card shows in New York, that's like, all right, it's whatever, $25 to get in. Now it's like, all right, I drove to this card show. Now I got to buy something because I spent $25. I drove all the way here. It's like an hour and a half away, wherever it is. So that to me,
Yo, question, Joe. Does it cost? Do they charge that price to get in card shows like in New York? Because I haven't been to one.
Yeah, yeah. I went to a card show. I'm pretty sure I paid $25 to it. It was a pretty big.
Bro, it's never more than $5 here.
Yeah, like the small shows are $3, but my boy, behind the diamond.
Some of I'm talking about the big ones here, like they're still $5. I just think you're in a smaller city, but obviously but like some of the big shows they had like in the fairgrounds and all. I mean, big money shows, but like they don't. But that's just being in New York, bro. Everything is 4 or 5 times everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, New York is so crazy, and if they did it in New York, it'd probably be even more crazy, like the prices and everything getting in. But yeah, there's definitely, I've paid $15 to get into shows. I'm pretty sure I paid $25 to get into a show. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I get it. It's like a big place. It also costs more to rent in a city like New York to rent like a big place like that. Like on a Saturday, like you get an entire basketball gym or something like that, or wherever the place is at. And I get it. It costs money. It's a business. You're trying to make money. Make your money. It's all good. I just think that's kind of a lot to go into, to go buy. So like I'm gonna go buy stuff as it is. Why am I paying to get in? Are you gonna entertain me with music and food and shit? Like what's going on here? So,
I got a question for you. Are there any modern? I mean, I know you're just like me. You don't buy a lot of modern boxes. You might buy some packs here or some stuff, whatever. But is there any modern kids, like the young kids now, that you're actually collecting, or any of these kids?
Not really collecting, but I mean, like I have a couple of nice Bobby Witts. Like when there's good players that are young, like I think now my approach is different. Where I used to be like, all right, I'll buy flagship and chrome and whatever, take the rookies out, take the cards that I want, and it doesn't, like, for the most part, who's going to be good beforehand. Like even these kids, like think about how many good players, like kids that were really good drafted high that aren't good. So like when there's a play, it's rare that it's like, oh yeah, this kid. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's kind of rare. You kind of figure it out early, and by the time the kid's really putting it together, baseball's such a crazy sport. Unless you're doing something like Ohtani or Trout or Judge, No one's gonna pay big money. You could get a Nolan Arenado like sick rookie for like $500, something insane. I bet. You know what I mean? He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame because it's that bump. It's like the young kids, hyped up, hyped up, hyped up, and then it's done. Look for the next young kid, and that's where like the big money in a lot of the modern for me is being spent. And then when you look at guys who are later in their career, guys who are like on the Hall of Fame highway, as Reynolds, whatever that dude says on ESPN, you see those guys, you're like, wow, it's cheap. You could get a Garrett Cole gold refractor to 50 rookie for like in a 9 for like $400. That dude's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Like, and then one day you're gonna wish you had that card. You know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy to me where there's so much just so much money spent on those cards. I'm just too scared to buy those cards. And now that I don't buy Bowman boxes and stuff like that anymore, or do breaks really, I'm just like, all right, if this kid starts to pop off, then I'll buy his rookie. You know what I mean? It's that simple.
Yeah,
like I got, whatever. Other than the stuff I'll just pull from buying some boxes, I just, like Bobby, like I think if there's one player to buy, honestly, it's Bobby Witt. Like for a young player, pretty much Bobby Witt. Like,
and I think Ellie's a good buy too, just because he's such a different type of player. I'm not saying he's Bobby Witt, but honestly, he does so many things that that kid he's a freak, bro. Like those guys don't come up often. I'm not saying he's I just like the way he plays. Maybe I'm biased because I like him, and he's like a fun kid to root for because he plays fun. He's flashy, but he's a good kid. He steals bases. Like these kids now, like a lot of dudes don't stay. The really good players. I'm not saying some guy who's hitting 240 could steal 50 bases, but I'm saying the superstar players. That's what makes it so dope. To watch Ohtani steal as many bases as he has and be how good he is crazy. Even Ramirez on Cleveland, he has 30-30 every year.
Yeah,
nobody talks about that kid.
Yeah,
bro, he drives runs and he's a leader. He's a good defender. He's on a path. He's on the Hall of Fame highway. I'm telling you, he's going that way.
Bro. He is.
He really is a great player. But his card, another guy. People they're not spending money on guys like him. But you're right. That's great because you look at certain players and you look like the Hall of Fame or Hall of Famers. Then you have the modern young, but there's so many cards in the middle that are so undervalued.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Obviously, like Max Scherzer. Justin Verlander. Yeah, I mean, there are just so many players right now that, like, even Mike Trout. Like Mike Trout, if Mike Trout didn't play anymore, he has the high enough wins above replacement, and that's what these guys use now for the most part. Everybody's sold on that. I don't want to get into that debate. Whether whatever. There's value. I feel like there's value to that stat. I like it, but I think there's a lot of problems with it. But whatever, he has better numbers, like according to that stat, which is like the golden rule now, whether it's I agree with it or not. And he has, his wins above replacement, I think are like at 90, which is pretty crazy. Like that's a pretty, there's not that many people on plus 100 wins above replacement. There are, but like it's like Mays, Aaron, Ruth, Jeter, Barry Bonds, like that. You know what I mean? It's like, so when you're hitting that 90 wins above replacement, it's almost a foregone conclusion. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. You could get Trout rookies. You get Nolan Arenado rookies. I think Garrett Cole. It's funny how like a lot, with these Bowman, the collectors of that stuff, like most of those guys are just like, no, pitchers suck. I can't believe I got a pitcher, this and that. Pitchers are the ones that you don't know. It's like all of a sudden this guy learned how to pitch. Next thing you know, this guy's a legend for 20 years. Like pitching is just so random. It's
so yeah. Yep.
Right. It's like, hitting and running and all that stuff. Like if you can't hit anymore, bro, and you're an offensive player and you're not a ridiculous fielder, you're pretty much like useless. But a pitcher, man, whatever. You might be some guy that's not even that good. Keep the kid around.
Guys that were dominant, like a Zito or like a Lincecum, like
Lincecum, bro. Jake
Mulder. There was so many guys, but like CeCe. I mean, CeCe was always dominant, but
I think there's a guy like, so if we talk about guys that like even now, right? CeCe Sabathia, in my estimation, will be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how.
Joey Votto.
Okay. Obviously Ichiro. These guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame soon, and you don't really hear that much. Like their values of their cards are like whatever. It's kind of weird. when the Hall of Fame, ceremony, once they're, it's already a known fact. Like Ichiro should be like a first ballot 100% guy. So like when he gets into the Hall of Fame, there's going to be a crazy spike in his cards. He has a lot of cards, and you can go back to the Japan cards and all that stuff. But I mean, you look at guys like that. It's like if you were investing in companies, right, and you knew this company at one point is going to be worth a lot more. It's going to be in 3 years. This big event's going to happen called the Hall of Fame induction of this corporation. That's how I would look at it if I was investing in cards. And, I think that's not even the worst way to look at it. If you want Hall of Fame rookies, who doesn't want that? So it's kind of a win-win. Beltray, Beltray and all these guys, like nobody was even talking about those. Scott Rowland, Joe Mauer, even now you can get those cards for cheap. At some point, they're going to be worth more because it's a Hall of Fame rookie card. And people are going to realize, hey, there's not that many of these in great condition or whatever. I mean, but yeah, I it's just a weird way, the way the hobby is, it's like fixated on like younger players. And then if those players aren't putting up Mike Trout numbers or Willie Mays numbers or whatever, all right, let's go on to the next young kid. Bobby Witt was highly touted, and he's played well everywhere he's gone. He's played well every season. Like Ellie's awesome, but like I want to see that kid play for a couple of more years. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like he definitely has the talent. There's a lot of good players that I think like, you never know, like a guy like an O'Neal Cruz or one of these kids, like these guys just figure it out one day and then just dominant. You never know, but I would say Bobby Witt's the guy. I still Acuna believer. I know he gets hurt a lot, but I think Ronald Acuna seriously is. I mean, he may be like one of those guys if he's injured a lot, but he has like the Sandy Koufax numbers or something, bro. Like his numbers, they're so good, but they're not in volume. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the volume, but he has like the statistical, whatever, super high OPS, 300 plus batting average, all that 30-30 stuff all the time, hitting like, whatever, man. I think he's awesome. Freddie Freeman, another guy, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't see how he would not get inducted. I always just say Freddie and Mike Trout will get inducted at the same time, and maybe they will, man. But the one good thing about Mike Trout, bro, that I was thinking about is like he has a huge contract left, bro, and he's not gonna leave that money on the table. Plus, he's Mike Trout, bro. That guy's so juiced up to play baseball. He loves baseball so much that like that guy's working out right now to get back. I guarantee you that dude did physical therapy today. He's talking that dude's baseball minded, and he's so good for baseball. I really hope things work out for Mike Trout.
Well, I got to bring this up because I watched it the other day. Did you see Trout opening up cards with his son?
I didn't see that, bro.
So he's opening. He has a little son next to him, and he's opening a box of Bowman of the year of his first. What year? What year was this Bowman?
2009.
Okay. So he's opening a box of that on camera. This is recently. And he's looking through, and all of a sudden he goes, no. Shows his son, and he's like, Dad. And look, he pulled it. He pulled his joint, and he was freaking out. He was like, he acted like a little kid.
That's insane, bro.
Imagine opening, like, listen, that box.
I hope that was real and not some fanatics plant. Like, oh, by the way, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro,
we've seen those. But either way, it's kind of incredible that he was doing it in front of his kid. Like,
bro, so fresh.
Maybe he just bought the box randomly online. He found one. That box is money, bro.
I know. But it was dope to see stuff like that, because I never seen Trout. I didn't, you wonder if players collect cards or if players are into it. To see like one of the greats opening boxes with his kid, how cool is that?
Awesome, bro. Really, really incredible. I love to see that stuff because, I would imagine a lot of these dudes that grew up here when they were kids, they bought baseball cards. Like it's just part of being in Little League and all that. Like Little League and baseball cards, that's just like something that goes together. You know what I mean? When you're in Little League, kids on the team got cards, you got cards, you're trading, whatever. I mean, that's how it was. I know in high school that changes and, you're not really, whatever. Some people still collect. But, that's a dope thing. And I think that's awesome. I think that is really, really cool. Hopefully it was a real thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, who knows? Like, do people have random boxes of that laying around? I mean, I know there are some boxes that
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
cost
you can
the
find them.
bottom.
They, you know, they numbers are crazy, but for Trout, you know, whatever. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's I mean, yeah, you got to do it with the kids. That's why I like even with my daughter's baseball team after every season, I'll go around to all the kids and say, "Yo, what's your favorite player? What's your favorite team?" And then after the last game or something, like I'll make each of them a little pack with a bunch of like cards or whatever. Because yo, man, that's how you build like you might one of those kids might just get that pack and go, "Yo, these are cool," and all of a sudden now you have some kid who loves the hobby. You know what I'm saying? You got to some some fathers don't know about that. So when you give kids free stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it
yep.
brings them in. Now they might like it. So it always works. It's always fun. But when you said little league and baseball cards, it does. It always connects. It's like 2 and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's awesome that you do that, bro. It's important. You know, that's another thing that like I'm not thrilled about the way the hobby is. It's like really expensive for kids. I mean, I would be priced out if I was a kid now. There's no way I'm, you know, spending $40 on a blaster box of Chrome cards and getting nothing. You know, they make so many of them now. There's like, I think in 2023, I think I did a video on my other page where it was like, I think there's 59 parallels in Topps Chrome. I mean, that's stuff, that's insane. So if you're a kid and you're like spending your money or whatever, you get a box for $40 and then you get like the pink refractor of whoever, you know, it's just, again, the money part of it kind of kills it. I feel like I understand everybody wants to make money. These products cost money. The athletes got to get paid to sign and all that stuff, especially on the higher end stuff. But you know, I think with the flagship and all that stuff, man, like just let that stuff be cheap, dude. It's cheap stuff. It's paper. The guy's been making it forever. Just like whatever, man. Make it more accessible. Make it more of a
And that,
thing where it's everywhere.
Joe, that's the thing. I'm not mad if some products are a lot of money. Like that's fine. But there has to be, you can't just have super high end, products in it and then high products. Like you
Right.
got to, like you said, that's smart. It's paper, it's flagship. It should just be a classic thing for kids, man. You shouldn't try to like that. Should be like hardly nothing. Like those should just have prices that always stay the same because you know now you get into the chrome sapphires or you're doing this. I get it if those are a little pricey, but that makes it fun. The ones who want to spend money on a high end spend money, but you got to let the kids have allowance and be able to go buy a few packs with their allowance. You know what I'm saying? Or buy a box or just something. There has to be a median with that. Like, and that's I mean, listen, if I could talk to fanatics or talk to them anything about that, that would be like the main thing. You hit it on the nose with that. You price the kids out.
Yeah, but I mean, and the cool thing about one of the cool things about the hobby, it's like an unwritten rule, but it is a rule, bro. Like flagship is king, bro. Like I know the Chrome, but to me, Chrome's part of flagship. But like that's the rookie. You know, the rookie that you get in your flagship Topps baseball card set, that's your rookie. Whether it's update, whatever, because now update's part of flag. It really is. That's a whole other thing we could talk about. Like update used to not be part of flagship. Now it is. They print it almost in the same volume or they have in the last couple of years. But that's to me the cool thing is like flagship is the king. So if you're a kid and you pull some crazy to 5 of a Bobby Witt out of a 2022 update box or whatever it is, that's cool. You know that, but again, that box shouldn't be 150. I mean, the prices of just the flagship paper Topps box now it's crazy. I think this is the last couple of years. I just haven't bought it. I was just like, no, it's too much money. I'm going to get a million inserts, a million rookies that suck. I'm not getting anything good out of the box. Like I'm not guaranteed. All I'm guaranteed is an auto or a, whatever, relic. And the relic's always garbage. And there are probably more relics than autos. And when you do get an auto, what are the odds you're going to get that kid's auto? You know what I mean? It's just, that's another thing. Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome, I think the auto set used to be like 25 dudes. So like you get a good auto. You get an auto of a good player at the time, at the very least. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Now it's like the rookie checklist on there it's been like that for the last few years, but like huge checklist, tons of rookie autos that are guys that, are not big name rookies. And I'm never gonna hate on any guy. You get a rookie, that card means something to somebody, the autograph, somebody, whatever. I'm not, but the thing is when you spend big money on a box, you want a smaller thing so that oh, yo, I bought a box Chrome. I got a Nolan Arenado auto. You know what I mean? I got a freaking Jacob DeGrom auto. I got whoever's auto. It doesn't have to be like Otani, Judge, Trout, whatever, but you get a Freddie, whatever it is. That's cool. It's a shorter thing. You're guaranteed it. But, now it's not like that. Yeah, you're going to get the five. You're going to get the five rookie autos. And since like 2021, I think it's just kind of been like that where you just don't get anything good. I have a million of those freaking autos, bro. Guys, a good one. And if you hit anybody, you're hitting the base, like it's crazy, bro. The odds of hitting a monster. So, and that's the thing. It's getting harder and harder for kids to hit like a card. Like when we were kids, bro, it was hard enough. Like, wow, yo, you got a nice, like you could buy a freaking whole box and try to get like your rookie card that you want. That shit may not be in the entire freaking palette of cards
right?
That card came in just because of the way the shit, now it's like you'll get it. Like for the most part, I feel like if you buy a box of like, say update 2022 update or whatever the product Bobby Witt Jr. was in, they'll give you one. You know what I mean? You'll get one. It's like, so you're paying for the box and they're almost guaranteed you're getting that one. Even that's kind of whack, even though like you're almost guaranteed to get it, even that's to me kind of like, really? I don't know, man. It's just too much money, bro. That the bottom line, too much money, and it kind of takes the fun out of it because when you spend that money and you're like, all right, oh, I'm gonna buy a box of Chrome. I spent $300 and now I don't have $300 anymore.
Yeah, you got 25.
Right. And I'm not enjoying these cards like that. So
that's what it is. Now, when we were younger and we spent money on cards, it was different because our mentality when you back then, I'm gonna get this set. Oh, I got the whole Yankees team. Oh, I'm gonna check my checklist off. It was like a race to get the set or get your team set or get your rookie or get your favorite players. Now it's like a race. How can I get my money back? It's like it's a different mindset, and listen, there's some people that still do that. There's still some people that collect that way. We know wrestling collectors do. We know that ourselves, just how it works. And I know some old school baseball collectors that they just still love to collect that way. But it's a different process and a different mindset, and it doesn't make it fun anymore when you open boxes to worry about if I got robbed. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's not fun anymore. You know what I'm saying? Unless you don't care and you're just, some of these people buy a case and they take their chances to say, if I hit the case hit, I'm gonna get my money back, or I'll make, I get it, but there's a different feeling of especially when something's overpriced. And if you're getting something that's overpriced, you want to at least feel like I'm taking care of a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm spending more money than I want, but you know what? I did have fun and I got some cool. But if you just spending that money and that you're probably gonna just be like, why did I even do that? Then there's the fun's gone.
Yep. No, I totally agree, bro. You got any pickups? Anything?
Yeah. So on the wrestling side, I want to shout out our good friend Rob England. We made a little fun trade recently, and I got this Roddy Piper rookie Scanlons. So sick. That's a sick card. I got this. I know you'll appreciate this one. I love these the 85 balls, the Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, that's that shot is such an awesome shot.
It's a great card. I love that set. That's one of my favorite sets. Because it just looks like it, it has the 80s look to it, but it doesn't look like any of the other sets.
So true, bro. I really like. I don't ever hear people talk about it. I mean, some of the real wrestling guys, but like, and then this one, this is, man, I wanted this card for a long time. This is the 82 BBM shot. This is this Hogan is. So this is a 7. I mean, there's 1 8. I mean, there's 2 8s and 1 9 of this card. So I mean, I love this. I know it's not like a card. It's almost like it's like a big stamp almost. But the images on these are really fresh. Really, really fresh.
Awesome, bro. That's really cool. I love those wrestling cards. I love that 82, man. Like that card, so fresh. It's like that stuff is just amazing to me. Like all the different like random
From that
Japanese.
time, 82s, 83s, you had the magazine cards, they came out of magazine. The wrestling thing is just crazy. I have some baseball joints I want to show you too. You'll appreciate. I've been doing a lot recently of like some of my Facebook groups. I mean, you follow some of them. They really got really cool stuff. And then there's some guys I want to shout out, like Hoosiers Cards on X and Twitter. There's some guys, obviously Cards with a Story. He always has his Wednesday. So I've been just picking in different things, spending 15 here, 20 here, just on cool different cards. Like a card like this. When I was a kid, I couldn't find a leaf, like a Clemens leaf.
Dude, the Clemens Leaf rookie, that card.
Yeah. Bro, I got this card. This thing is like, it's like mint. I wouldn't gem, but I'm just, because it's a little off. But I'm saying with these black borders, I mean, like $15. But like, I'd rather spend $15 on this than go buy a pack of something else.
Yeah, that's an awesome card. I love Leaf, man. Leaf is awesome. The cool Leaf is like, they only had a smaller set. So when you buy Leaf, you're getting all the stars, which is kind of awesome.
Exactly. But like on our era, well, where were you going to find these Leafs? I know my name, they didn't have them.
Nope.
So, where would you find them? So buying them now is cool. And this is a dope one. This is Tony Gwynn OPG auto.
Wow, that is a beautiful card, bro.
This is the box panel. So I know you would appreciate this.
Bro, that's sick, dude. The box panel auto Gwynn, that's ridiculous, bro.
Now PSA just has it as a trading card, but I don't care. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's a sick card, dude. That is an absolutely beautiful card, bro.
Oh, just to have a Gwynn auto.
It's a box panel and it's a Gwynn auto.
That's exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that
card, and it's OPG.
Yeah. Those are the types of cards.
Bro, but look at how are you gonna have the powder blue border? Like,
it's so dope.
That is crazy, bro. That's like stuff we do with wrestling in 2024. These dudes were doing this shit in the 80s.
Yeah.
Powder blue borders, like that's so far ahead of where, because this is the stuff that people are doing now. Like it amazes me how ahead these were. And they didn't even. I don't even think they even knew what they were doing.
I always say that, man. It's the parallel variations that they were doing, and they didn't even know they were doing it. Like 86 tops box panels, 85 Donruss box paddle. Wait, is that the Clemens rookie? That Leaf?
85.
Yeah, that card's crazy. That Gwynn's out of control, bro. Like, you know how I feel about box panels. Like I like that if you search for rare stuff in the 80s, you can find it. There is rare Junkwax. Like,
oh, but you put me onto that. I knew box panels. I knew as a kid, you cut them out all crazy, or you flattened them out and kept them in a book or something like that. But you put me on to like stuff like this, because I didn't know this existed. Like, I just got on a stick thing one day. You start searching stuff, and like, I guarantee you there's people that are just looking at this card, like, because I found this on eBay, and since it says trading card, they don't know that this is a box panel of OPG.
Let me tell you.
I started doing Google searches, and then I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, and then I was like, oh, shoot, it's a box. I said, nah, no way. Because I would never know. But you've been on that, and you always say how they are really like parallels, like the first parallels.
Yeah, dude, that card is incredible. And that's a good point, man. Like, you can really find, if you're willing to do the trading card thing and then have it transferred over, like, just add $25 to it. That's what PSH, I think that's what they charge, right?
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I have to, because I can't look at this trading card thing. I can't look at it. And the auto is really nice. So I know the auto will grade nice. That
card's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous card, bro. That's one of the illest cards you've ever showed me, bro. Are you kidding me? That card's thick, dude.
I couldn't even believe it. And the price wasn't I mean, honestly, I don't even think it was like $125, bro. I mean, for me to get, listen, I always, like, there's certain guys that I just want. And I don't even care if it's their rookie, but if it's a card of them from the era that I remember them, like, I remember Tony Gwynn looking like this in the brown and orange. Like, I remember that so to get guys like him, or like a Randy Johnson, or like just, you know what I mean?
I'm going to send, and I've been meaning to do this, Nolan Ryan, I think he'll sign for like $65. bro, I'm gonna send the box panels to that kid. Just have them, like, you know what I mean? I don't care if they, bro. Honestly, like when it comes to auto on box panel, bro, I'll let it grade a 3. I don't care about the card grade. The auto now is where the value is. Like, obviously, bro, you know, I have some crazy box panels, like a 9s. I have a 10, bro. I have a freaking Jim Rice 10,
What?
89 Ichi. Shit's mental, bro. It's
Bro,
like
how did you get that? And you cut it?
no, dude, some
Oh,
guy had, yeah, I've never gotten, I'll be honest, I've never gotten more than an 8 on anything I've cut. So I know how to cut stuff, but like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough. But I'm sending some stuff to PSA. But bro, that card just blew me away. That's awesome, bro. That is awesome, dude. Holy shit. Like
Yeah.
that's
I
my
could,
freaking shit. I love that.
and
Um,
I looked at, I've been looking at it like close, and honestly, the card's like in mint condition. I mean, unless there's something on there that I can't see surface wise, but corners, I mean, like, I think it would grade good. And even if I got even like a 7 and an 8 or 9 auto, I'm good. Like for me, like that's, you can't even expect for anything more than that, like with a card like that. So I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I gotta send it in, bro, because you know me, I can't. The trading card thing that thing drives me. It's like
no,
it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like
I,
in like a Porsche and you have like a Volkswagen engine. It's like can't do it.
listen, bro. But the truth that, and I see this all the time. Awesome cards and trading card slabs that people just, first of all, they're much cheaper and they sit there. Yo, there's a Lawrence Taylor auto rookie for like 100. Bro, people, if anyone watches this video, they're gonna go buy it, bro. There's like an ill Lawrence Taylor in a auto 10. It's like $150 because it's in that. I'm like, dude, I'm about to just cop that shit. I copped some cool stuff recently, but yeah, dude, that kind of stuff, man. The trading card stuff, you know, people, oh yeah, you know, or also the blue flips where it's just only authentic. Those PSAs, like those are cheaper too. Oh, you
Yep.
get that, transfer it over, bro. The auto's already done. PSA already
Done.
knows, right? The autos or whatever, you know, unless you resub it, which is stupid because you already, why would you do that? And now, because that's where a lot of the fee comes from. Like, you know, when you know how it is, you sub a card to PSA for the auto authentication, and they'll say, well, what player is it? Oh, it's this guy. Well, that's going to be harder to do than, say, somebody who signs a lot. So you're already halfway there with that, bro. That's sick.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I'll show you. I picked up a couple of things. Did I show you? Did I show you that Jackie? That big Jackie?
Oh, what the exhibit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think you did, but I don't. I
It's all
think
good.
you did. Well, I know either you showed me or you told me. I definitely knew you got it.
But so yo,
Did you cop another Jackie or before that?
I got this. This is like my favorite one. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
because I can't really see like with the reflection. This one,
Yeah.
55. I got a 54. I showed you this 54 has some pen mark on it, but the card is
Yeah.
like
That's the
color
one.
card.
I love that one, bro.
Like I don't even care about the pen mark. But so went to I went to my my spot over here. Shout out to Royal. And I always check out what they have. And they had two really dope Griffey rookies. Like, and it's weird because I was always like at the time I was against Upper Deck. I was a young kid. I was a tops guy. I never really got, but I finally like got one of these, bro. The Griffey
Man,
rookie. Because I got all the other ones, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I have all his other rookies, and I do kind of collect him on the low. So it's like whatever. The guy's a legend. He's like the Willie Mays of our era in a way. So it's
good.
like I'm not gonna collect that dude. But even for me, even better. Like yo, check this out, bro.
Oh,
PSA 10 in a 10, bro.
what?
The Bowman, the
Yo,
Griffey
you know
rookie.
what? Do you know what's funny about that card is that when I was a kid, I don't know. I didn't appreciate that card for some reason. Like the Upper Deck was one that I like. It took me a while to get. I think I got it from a shop, but obviously we all had the tops and the Fleers and all that and Don Russ. But the Upper Deck was like harder to get. But that one for some reason I never really like got or enjoyed. And now that's the card that like I want that card. Like so for you to get a 10, bro. Listen, that's
So
such a classic card.
great looking card. I mean, yeah, it's. I picked up this Pete Rose auto to 85 Donruss, pretty
Yo,
fresh.
what?
Nothing. $50 maybe, not even.
Expos?
You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, bro, that's the craziest thing. Like, I've never seen him with the Expos, like,
with the auto on the Expo, bro. See, I know what you're doing there, bro. That's what I'm saying. See, you're not doing that ordinary thing that everybody gets the rose with.
right. I mean, I could have bought a lot of different roses, bro. But it's like, dude, the Expos one, come on, bro. Yo, I don't know if I showed you this, but this is this Jackie, bro. I can't put this card away. Like most of my cards, I put away onto my desk, away from my desk. After a while, this card, I just got it up.
Nah,
it's weird
piece of art, bro.
It's a dope card, and it's like, it kind of got me over like my whole thing with like quote unquote standard size. I've been wanting a Ruth, bro. I told you I copped the 32 Sonella Butter Ruth in a PSA 2, and bro, I showed you, it's a beautiful card. Just
the next show, you got to pull that one out.
Oh, 100%, bro. Like, just like to have a Babe Ruth, that to me, crazy, bro. That's like crazy. Yeah. Something I always wanted, and then I'm thinking, well, Babe Ruth has the little small cards, like his early tobacco cards. He has, none of them are really standard size. And like we said, other than the Gowdy, which isn't even really quote unquote standard because it's kind of a more square looking card. But I mean, more square. But yeah, bro, that's basically what it is. Do you want to do a quarter classic?
What do you got, cuz?
So yeah, this card, I got it in, in a quarter box in Pennsylvania. I went to see my uncle recently. It's 1980 Hunt's Bread. It's like a card that tells you that you can get like this 3-card set.
Nice.
I got to go check it out and see what it's about, because like weird sets like that, like Hunt's Bread, like you never know. There might be like a sick Reggie Jackson in 81.
Bro, you go through a rabbit hole with that. You find some incredible. Wait, let me see. Put it up again.
Yeah.
Tio.
And the back is like, it's all the home run hitters.
That's fresh, bro. You got to do some research on that one.
Yeah. I haven't really dived into it, but it would be kind of cool to check out. I mean, you never know. Some of that stuff is so awesome, bro. I love that stuff.
So this one I picked up, actually, when I was in New York. I found a little card shop near my in-laws, and this was like in like a few dollar box. It was like $1 or something, but it's a Jordan Sports Illustrated kids card, and he's a golfer.
That's awesome.
Right? It's just like a fresh card. Like,
that's a real
like anything Jordan. And like I said, this always goes back to your childhood. What, when I was a kid, what did you always get? Sports Illustrated, Sports Illustrated, Jordan. It's just like, stuff like that. Like, to me, a card like this, I bought cards $30-$40 that after like a few days or a week, you're like, why'd I buy that? Whatever. But something like this that you buy for $1 or something like that is like, you look at it and you're like, it's just something cool, Yeah,
that's a cool card. That pops too with the pink and the yellow. Looks really, really cool. It's, plus Mike Jordan. And those that come in the magazine like that, like I always like those kind of cards, man. But
yep.
Anyway, man, so we'll sign off on this one, and we'll be back with a guest on the next one.
Peace out.